Hey y'all, welcome to Mama's Kitchen. I'm Mama, otherwise known as Mary Beth. You can call me Mama, you can call me Mary Beth. Anyway, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make for you, or show you how to make Sue Becker's Banana Nut Muffins. The recipe is from her red cookbook, and she gives a basic muffin recipe, then with several variations of different kinds of muffins to use. So it's the same basic recipe, but you can change it up to make blueberry, peach, banana nut, apple, cinnamon, whatever you want. So that's what we're gonna do today, y'all. All right, so the recipe calls for 2 1/4 cups of fresh milled wheat flour. So I have 2 1/4 cups of fresh milled, this is hard, half hard red wheat, half hard white wheat. It's the same flour that I make my bread with. A teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and then it also calls for a teaspoon of cinnamon. I have put all of these spices in this bowl. These bowls are Pampered Chef bowls, but they're wonderful to have all your ingredients ready to go. My mother, who lived to be 96 years old, told me as she was later on in her life, she said, you need to get all of your ingredients out before you ever start making anything, because you don't want to forget to put something into your recipe, whatever you're making. So I try to do that. I don't always succeed with that, but I do try to do that. And so I have done that for you today. It also calls for a cup of buttermilk. I have got a cup of buttermilk in my Pampered Chef. I guess I'm plugging Pampered Chef today. I'm just using some of the products I have. Little cup measure calls for 1 egg, a half a cup of oil, a half a cup of honey, and like with my bread recipe, I put the oil in first, the honey on top, and then it's going to come out easier. It calls for 3 bananas, so I've roughly mashed those bananas. This is probably about a half a cup of chopped pecans on my Norwex cutting board. If you have not used a Norwex cutting board, they are fabulous. Made out of rice husk, a knife will not cut through them, so you don't have to worry about bacteria getting in those little, cut places. And then it also calls for vanilla. I try to use as many organic ingredients as I possibly can. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more aware of chemicals in our environment, additives in the food, and so I'm on this journey to make food healthier and to keep my home as healthy as possible as well. So with that said, we're going to start making these muffins. So I have measured my dry ingredients. I'm going to put my flour in to my mixer. I use a mixer. I try not to over mix the muffins, and the quick breads, but I like to use a mixer. It makes it easier on me, but you can mix it all up in a bowl if you want to. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients just till they're mixed together. I'm using my KitchenAid this time, y'all. I'm not using my Bosch mixer because there's not that many ingredients. I don't know if I can get this where y'all can see it or not, but anyway. I'm turning this on just to mix those dry ingredients up a bit. And now I'm going to add the liquids. So we have the honey and oil. And add that. I use a little bitty spatula. It's kind of perfect to get this honey out of here. A lot of it's going to come out because you put your oil in first, but there's always a little residue that wants to hang around. Honey and oil in, buttermilk in, and let's see what she says then. I guess eggs go in, egg goes in. I'll put a little bit of vanilla, my organic vanilla that I get from Azure Standard. I'm gonna mix this up just briefly. Now I'm going to add my bananas. These were organic bananas. My husband picked them up at the grocery store. And the nuts. I'm just going to mix these together just for a minute or two till I get this mixed together. Very briefly, I'll take my little spatula. You know, my grandmama Hall was a wonderful cook, and you will see me making a lot of her recipes. And she always told me, be sure that you scrape down the bowl several times. Well, we're gonna scrape down the bowl and then mix it up just briefly one more time. And then we're gonna put these in our little muffin cups. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get these muffin cups over here. I'll be back. Y'all, I'm back and I'm ready to put our little, get our batter in our little paper liners. And I think this is Mama's muffin tin. I got a lot of her cooking stuff when she passed away. And so I've got my little scoop here. I usually get about, I don't put all of that in the cup. You know, you want your cups to be about 2/3 full, not full, because they're gonna rise. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these done. I'm gonna put them in the oven at 400 degrees. I will come back when they are done. Okay, y'all, I'm back. The muffins baked about 15 minutes. So here they are. They rose beautifully. And it actually made 19. And so I had my little square Pampered Chef pan over here, and I had to put the rest of them in there. So I'm gonna open one of these up and give it a taste test. Let's see how these are. I thought about spraying my little paper liners, but I didn't want the oil to be soggy to the muffins, so I just kind of didn't do it. But here it is. There's our muffin. Oh, so moist, y'all. Look at that. It's just moist. So good. You can see that chunk of banana in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's delicious. Not real sweet because the sweetener in it is honey. So I did put cinnamon. It calls for nutmeg. I like nutmeg on egg custard pie. That's about the only time I like nutmeg. You can put nutmeg in it. So anyway, y'all, great for breakfast, great for snack, great for when you're having coffee, friends over. I got family coming over Friday, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let these cool, put them on a pan, freeze them, put them in a Ziploc, and bring them out Friday when our company comes. Coffee, banana nut muffin, be so good, y'all. Listen, y'all have a great day. Let me know if you make these banana nut muffins. God bless. Bye.